their home deck. Andy Harper is alongside for the call. You've just been down at pitch side. Ideal conditions for football tonight.
Yeah, it's very cool, beautiful. A little breezy, but nothing too difficult for the players as usual. Cooper Stadium is set for a great presentation, and I'm sure the players will respond. Looking forward to this one. You know, oftentimes, Speedy, when teams get themselves into a desperate situation, you see a desperate performance. I think it's fair to say that's where the Mariners find themselves now. You can certainly read into that by virtue of the team selections. Alan Stajic has thrown everything up in the air and said, right, who's ready, fit, training well, and wants to represent the club. And Adelaide, of course, looking to bounce back into their winning ways.
Adelaide United with a stack of injury problems right now. James Troisi out with a quad. Ryan Strain picked up that hamstring concern last week. Kitto is out. Maroney's out. Konstantopoulos, sadly, for a year or so with an ACL. Al Hassan Toure has a foot injury. Isaac Richards, one of the goalkeepers, is out as well. Nyongabiri is out with an adductor problem. So pretty thin, the Adelaide United squad at the moment. For some reason, there's been a significant hold-up in the tunnel, but now at 19:03 local time, you can see that the referee has decided that the socks of the players are now in fine working order. And even the players can see the funny side right now. Guard of honour formed by the Adelaide United power chair team. And Riley McGree sharing a moment with the mascot here. Riley McGree in superb form. 8 goals for the number 8 so far this season. And hoping to become an Olympian come July as well, after the Olyroos qualified without him in that tournament in January in Thailand. Let's check the team news. There's a bit to get through as well. George Blackwood missed last week with a calf issue, but is straight back in. Ryan Strain is the man to drop out with that hamstring injury. So Stefan Mork will play in the unfamiliar right-back role. 15-year-old Mohamed Toure is among the substitutes after a breathtaking cameo on debut in Brisbane last week. The Central Coast Mariners make no less than 5 changes tonight. Simon is out. Jair drops to the bench, as does Juric as well. And Chris Harold makes his starting debut for the club after scoring as a sub last week. Michael McGlinchey makes his first start since round 25 last season. Tonyik, it's just his second start for the club in defence, while Murray and Nisbet are restored to the starting lineup. Stajic looking to find the winning formula right now and start climbing that A-League ladder. Match ball will be given to the referee in a moment by the lady who enjoyed her Valentine's meal. John and Joe Young were sampling a meal pitchside moments ago. And also given the honour of handing over the match ball on Feb 14 here in Adelaide. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Certainly one that they'll never forget. The Adelaide United fans. The Mariners won the last meeting 2-1 in Gosford. If they can win today, it would square up the overall ledger between these clubs. Adelaide United with the slight edge right now, 20 wins to 19. Hirsch and Verbeek cruelled by a lot of contact injuries at the moment and some soft tissue problem as well. Has won 5 of his 8 home games this season. And Alan Stajic almost 1 year into a 3-year deal with the Mariners. atmosphere on Friday night as the Central Coast Mariners kick things off. He gets straight on the front foot as well. Stensness finding Miller, and the run made ahead by Nisbet. So a neat kick-off routine until it all came undone, and Adelaide United get the throw, Andy Harper.
Well, a sign of intent from the Mariners. Johnny Stensness off the kick-off, driving through the centre circle and immediately putting, or trying to put, the Mariners on the front foot.
And this is an interesting ball for Murray to chase. It was awkward for Jakobsen, and the number 9 had no one to hit with that kind of ball. The Mariners were very lopsided. There was no one coming in from the left-hand side.
And you'd have to say, it assumes no communication. I mean, the word's got to go to Jordan Murray to hold that. Let's build it.
Oh, Opseth gets the better of Tonyik. Big chance in the middle. Here comes Dorigo, never scored in the A-League, and he's denied by the deflection in the end. Birighitti would have been stranded had it been on target, and they get a corner out of it. What a start to this game.
Decent one. Beautiful ball at the touchline. Tonyik is just too weak. He's a mountain of a man. You cannot get bounced off the ball like that a minute into the game. And almost to compound things, a deflection could have gone into the Mariners' goal. Thankfully for the away team, the blushes were spared.
Dorigo delivers. Opseth among the targets in the middle. No one making a back post run.
We don't want to underplay the work of Ben Halloran there, who's obviously, as we said in the pre-game with Tara and Robbie, what great form Halloran's been in, so credit there. But honestly, a minute into the game, you're a big strapping centre half. You've got a starting opportunity, which is rare. Mate, that winger ends up in the grandstand, doesn't he? Metaphorically speaking.
The only other game that he started was against Adelaide United back in round 6 when the Reds were victorious 3-1. Chris Harold was trying to help that on towards Jordan Murray. Izzo to Michael Maria, getting a good run of games in that left-back role, but it is a little breezy here, and a few players have been knocked off kilter early on here. Miller trying the extravagant turn. Murray gave up on that pretty quickly and eventually was able to track it down. A bit more intent earlier on, and he would have had the angle for the cross.
Yeah, I agree. The hesitation was a little strange. Nice work from Lewis Miller on the touchline on the far side.
Way through to Elsie to clear. Gordon's header. Jakobsen, great 50-50 against Lewis Miller. Tonyik started out as an A-League prospect, as an Adelaide United player with the youth team back in 2014. Never broke into the senior team because he was poached pretty sharpish by Melbourne City. Made his A-League debut for that club. Kim getting forward. This time there are teammates to hit in the box. Murray and Harold. McGlinchey, clever little turn. Time to get his head up as well. Here comes Clisby, who scored last week. And the foul has gone against him here.
Brilliant lead up from the Mariners. Well done. A very dominant midfield play from Kim, with the forward run to support the attack and then being the key link man. It was a magical turn by Michael McGlinchey. A questionable decision on the pass he opted for, which really undid things for the Mariners. That was shaping up beautifully.
Now the risk has been taken, and Harold and Elsie able to get a block in after he was a little too casual in possession, giving it away.
Perhaps a little selfish there, Chris Howell, but he did score a belter last week, and you can understand if his confidence is riding high. But Jordan Murray was a nice option as well, and Nisbet square on the edge of the penalty area, unmarked, was also available.
That was Harold's first A-League goal in nearly 2 years. Lynch's corner just eluded Murray in the middle, held clear by Jakobsen. They're pulling out the tricks, aren't they? Told to play with flair and confidence tonight by their coach. Good pick out by Nisbet. Murray gave it up for some reason. In a goal-scoring position, looked to tee up Stensness instead. Number 9, unselfish. Lovely touch again by McGlinchey. Just got away from Murray, had crossed the sideline. But doesn't look like a player who hasn't started all season, Michael McGlinchey.
Well, he's showing all the freshness of one. Fortunately, his really good moment so far in the game, he, in my opinion, hit the wrong pass. But some bright football from the Mariners. The players given a chance, and certainly primed to accept that opportunity here.
Just the 3 sub appearances so far in this campaign. Limited minutes for McGlinchey. Hasty clearance from Izzo, straight out of play. He made his A-League debut as a 17-year-old against the Mariners. John Cosmina gave him that opportunity. Bends back into play for Kim. And the Mariners can stay on the front foot. Appear to be playing down breeze in this first half and making the most of it. Kept in somewhat riskily by Mile Osnich. Central Coast maintaining possession in that attacking third. Nice idea from Harold trying to play in Miller. Again, it's narrow here. McGlinchey all the way through, and the strike off the crossbar. Chris Harold, who hadn't scored in 2 years, nearly had 2 in 2.
Well, they're in close proximity to each other, the Mariners. They're in good touch. They're up for the game. They're finding each other. This, again, from McGlinchey, beautiful. And Jakobsen asleep at the wheel. I tell you, this continues for Adelaide. There's a Verbeek coming up, Speedy. Seems that's from time to time what this team needs. They've started very sloppily, the Reds, and McGlinchey again, the beautiful little change of direction and setting the Mariners away.
Murray wants an early ball here. Miller worked the 1-2 instead. It's the informed Ben Halloran. Blackwood wasn't quite 100% last week. No risks taken with that calf concern. Brilliant the week before. Remember, they had 3 first-half goals attacking the Pickard end. Fair diagonal by Elsey, trying to get Mork involved as the makeshift right back, and cop that, George Blackwood. One of the ultimate Falcons. And he certainly took the full brunt there.
That's a nasty one. Look at the way his head rocks back. They'll be taking the full, I'd imagine, 3 minutes here, or whatever the amount is. Oof. In the temple as well.
It would have been a blackout for Blackwood there.
This is not a good one. He's barely moved, which is obviously a long way short of saying he's been knocked into next week, but he basically hasn't changed his position.
Let's go down to Robbie Cornthwaite on the sideline.
Yeah, George Blackwood copping one straight in the face there. They never tickle. And you see the club doctor there, James Illick, in the black hat. He's actually the doctor for the Matildas. So he's had a pretty busy 24 hours in Sydney last night, back in Adelaide, and called into action already very, very early. As for the Mariners' start, they've got quite a strong tailwind in their back, and that might be helping them in these early stages. Adelaide, though, like to play the ball in behind, and with the ball holding up into the breeze, that could help them as well. So be interesting to see. It's quite swirly out here at the moment.
Looks like George Blackwood has been given the all clear by the doc, James Illich. Vastly experienced doctor in Adelaide. Swig on the water bottle and he'll be right to go. 10 minutes in already. Plenty of chances being created. McGlinchey spreading it wide. The diminutive Nisbet looks up, plenty of options. Give it to McGlinchey right now. He's making things happen. Murray trying to bend it, and Elsey with an athletic block. Good pick out. Back post, Miller! And he was onside. No, he wasn't. Flag went up. May as well take the goal kick, says the referee.
Well, let's imagine if we're able for a moment that wasn't offside. It's a good chance made. They've hit the post or the crossbar with another, and they've had, perhaps by my recollection, another 4 very promising entries into the penalty area.
Domination territory-wise for the visitors, as we've felt, reflected on that graphic. Toniek v. Opseth. He won out in the end. The big centre half. Kim slotted in with Toniek getting adventurous, showing all of his experience, but that pass was wayward. Oh, Blackwood, as he copped another head knock there. Nearly went head-to-head with McGlinchey. Some people, Andy Harper included, fearing for Blackwood's health at the moment. Don't need another head knock like he just copped there.
Yeah, thankfully it was only a slight one, but he's one of great unresolved issues in the game at the moment, quite how to deal with this. I know we have the concussion protocols, etc., but given the atmosphere of the times, I reckon there'll be more developments to that over time. That's good, strong work from Toniek. Looked like a handball off Opseth.
Gave the referee a spray for some reason, perhaps about not getting the decision earlier on, but this was clearly off the hand. If a referee sees it against an attacking player, may as well give it. Here go the Mariners again. McGlinchey, what a first-time ball. Murray denied by Izzo, and a goal kick, last touch off the number 9. Well, you have to ask the question now, where's Michael McGlinchey been all season?
I was certainly about to. He's been brilliant. Look at the run out of midfield. Excellent touch. I mean, this is the McGlinchey of old. And to be honest, Jordan Murray just didn't react quick enough. Not sharp enough. Jordan Murray has been busy generally. He's been contributing generally in this very good opening dozen or so minutes from the Mariners, but that was a key moment. Not sharp enough. And another really promising attack for the Mariners just comes to nothing.
In some respects, he reacted too quickly because he was offside by about a metre. If he had scored, it wouldn't have counted. Liosnich. Misplaced pass again. The Reds have not found their groove yet, and McGlinchey keeps on picking out teammates and sending the Mariners up the pitch. Miller able to stride out. Murray is borderline offside again. And they'll get a corner. Early deflection there off McGree, who's barely been sighted yet.
Well, there's not an Adelaide player, really, who's figured. It's been all Central Coast, and McGlinchey's been the main man. This is the form of the youngster who was on the books at Celtic. This is the form of the McGlinchey who was a key part of the Mariners at their peak. This is the McGlinchey who became a naturalised Kiwi and has played internationally for the All Whites. This is Michael McGlinchey. More of it, please.
Lisby's in-swinger is deep. McGlinchey's arriving. Murray got the header. Counter-attack potential here for Adelaide United. McGree hoped that might run to Opseth. Clisby whips it back in. Stealing in was Murray, and it's off an Adelaide United head for another corner. Just wide as well, nearly an own goal.
Well, bar one case, maybe two. Although my memory might have rose-tinted glasses. The delivery into the penalty area from the Mariners so far this game, apart from a couple of exceptions, has been excellent. That was the latest of them. Jordan Murray thought he was in for all money then.
Now McGlinchey almost driving it into that breeze here. Gave it some extra pace. All the way back to Ziggy Gordon, who was just guarding things on halfway against the prospect of a quick counter. Stefan Mork playing on the right side so far as Herchem Verbeek is concerned in this first half. He can really talk him through it in that unfamiliar role if required. Something we've seen with Michael Maria when he's played in the left-back role going the other way. No shortage of advice from the Dutch coach. Elsie's diagonal kept in by Maria, dealt with by Gordon. And a foul committed by the Curaçao international. Speaking this week about his hopes to be part of a successful World Cup qualifying campaign with Curaçao. Ziggy Gordon, the Scot. Movement by Nisbet opened up that space for Harold, but he gave it up to Mile Osnic and dragged him down. Speedster on speedster there. Moment there, the Mariners had a back seven and then the front three, and a couple of midfielders said we better step up. There's a lot of space between those two respective lines. Still Elsie able to find McGree, who's giving them the run around. Riley McGree, and dealt with by Kim at that near post.
Good moment from Adelaide. Well done, Riley McGree. He's been in cotton wool till now. It's so dangerous around the penalty area. And forced his way in front of Maria to get rid of Nisbet. And Kim providing very good coverage. He's impressed, Kim. Took him a while to get into A-League rhythm.
Fifth corner in this game already. Athletic header clear by Murray. Plenty of oncoming traffic as well as the Adelaide United players tried to time their run. The Reds have scored in their past 17 games against the Central Coast Mariners. That's a club record against any A-League opponent on a streak like that. Again, tidy work by Miller. Lynchy presenting again. Veteran of more than 220 A-League appearances. Nisbet now. A little bit of swagger in midfield. Toniek. Nisbet turns it over. It's all too tight down this side in the end. Clear foul in the end. Opseth knocking Stensness over.
I think they're a really good midfield pair for the Mariners, Stensness and Kim. Very muscular, both of them. Kim's got great experience, great quality, and Stensness is an emerging property in the A-League, but has impressed again, as Kim has, in a team that struggled.
Clever little chest there from Harold, and McGlinchey will get there. And then the chest of Jakobsen was used. Not often you see the chest used so effectively by two opponents in quick succession like that. Mork given plenty of encouragement, isn't he, down this right-hand side by the fans packed in on this side. Careless one there by Miller. Little nibble at Blackwood, gives up the set piece.
Well, Georgie Blackwood won that with perseverance. Lewis Miller had the touch and was looking to just clip the ball up the line. And he just wasn't aware Blackwood was going to nip in. It's well done from George.
Scored his first A-League goal against the Mariners. His one and only as a Sydney FC player. It was back in 2016. Looking to get on the end of Dorigo's delivery. They were devastating from set pieces a fortnight ago at this venue. Dorigo with pace again, and Kim headed clear. McGree slipped. Maria's up and in, under. Who wants it? Could have left it for the goalkeeper, but communication was sadly lacking.
Well, that's Birigitti's ball, and he needed to ensure that Jack Clisby was in no doubt that it was Birigitti's ball. Not quite sure why the hesitation from the Mariners keeper.
Halloran keeps on going in behind Clisby. Touch just took him away from goal. And Clisby dodged a bullet there. Blackwood keeps it in the attacking third, putting pressure on Tonjek. Good quick pass from Mork. Riley McGree eventually drove into the area. Opseth wriggling his way through, denied by Birigitti. It's offside against McGree in the end. Well, Mark Birigitti has now faced 100 shots on target this season and keeping a clean sheet for now. That was a brilliant move by the Norwegian.
Really nice shifting of the ball, great balance, lovely touch in between two, past a third. Do you know, did Tonga get a touch on that ball onto McGree whilst playing at it? That would have been an interesting one on replay. And the Mariners need to be incredibly diligent now, Speedy, after their really, really impressive opening 20 minutes. They don't just let Adelaide in, undo all their good work. It's been the Mariners who've had all the chances at goal.
Just one win in their past 9 against Adelaide United for the Mariners. And that was the most recent meeting, round 11. Rolls and Milan Djuric on target in a 2-1 victory. It'll bounce for Clisby, whipped across the face at pace. Elsey somehow able to head it outside of his area. Great referee. Counter-attack is on here. Maria will find Mile Uznic. Space opening up. Home fans riding the wave here. Riley McGree onto his right side. Blackwood with Halloran talking him through it. It was a tame shot in the end. Reverse ball to Halloran, and they may well have scored. About the pace of this game, and the distribution from Birigitti is stunning all the way through to Murray here. Game stretched just over a quarter of the way through the 90. Harold, too much on that, intended for Nisbet.
Unfortunate. Yeah, good passages end to end. Adelaide's probably brightest counter-attack. And George Blackwood backing himself to shoot. No massive problem with that, but you've got to make sure it's a good one, because he did have a really good overlap option in Ben Halloran. Not that easy or straightforward to get Halloran the ball then, but still a viable alternative. And then the Mariners bouncing upfield. Again, it's been as expected with a lot to play for both teams. It's been a really bubbly affair.
Just back on side here, Murray. Flag staying down for him. He worked hard to get back on side. It's a little aimless. McGree around the outside of Miller. What a surge from McGree. Stensness got across in time, though.
That's a brilliant double up from Stensness. Yeah, one thing about Riley McGree, Speedy, that's not spoken about a lot is his speed. Incredible speed. Now, his movement around the field, to be frank, is not actually often couched in those terms. Here he is now setting up the attack on Opseth. Tonjek is a case that he's played at that, which of course then would have meant McGree was onside.
Toniek likes to take the game on. That time he turned it over though, and you can't afford to do that too many times against Adelaide United. McGree back to Milojevic, has scored from here, and that one pretty direct to Mark Birighitti, taking on one of his former clubs. Played 8 games for the Reds, debuted as a teenager, played in the AFC Champions League final, second leg against Gamba Osaka back in 2008 as well, when Galekovic was injured. Harold thought about pressing one out and then bailed out. Space for the Reds to work it down that left-hand side again. Maria away from Nisbet. Almost tricked his way through. He kept on going. Adelaide United looking more and more dangerous as this half wears on. Halloran got rid of his man. Referee could see what was going on there and gave the whistle against Halloran. He's saying, who initiated it though, ref? It was Clisby all over me, he says. Murray, nice turn. The channel had opened up there for Harold. Milojevic saw what was brewing. Great tempo about this game. Both teams having a crack. Attacking intent on full display.
Oh, it's a really positive approach by both coaches and their players. Obviously, Adelaide have a great advantage if they can get the ball forward early with very fast players in motion. From the Mariners' point of view, every time Birighitti is doing a restart, takes across whatever, diffuses the shot, sprints to the edge of the box, launches the ball into attack, and away we go again. It's been a terrific half hour of football to get our Friday night going.
Delivery pretty handy too. It's Murray. Appeals for a penalty. Milojevic tries the spectacular, and Blackwood's protest continues here. He says to the ref, make sure you wait for the VAR check, because he felt like he was manhandled there. He's trying to hold up the goal kick so VAR can check it out. Adam Kersey's saying, get out of there, get on with it.
Well, what George needs to be reminded of is that the VAR looks at everything anyway. Ball had gone. I'm not sure if that counts. It didn't on Tuesday night in the Champions League. Can Blackwood make a challenge at that ball? He probably can. I can't see that Ziggy Gordon on that frame has done anything apart from being there.
Still pretty canny from George Blackwood to hold up play there and make sure VAR checks out all the replays.
Well, it does. It's one of those moments, and there are plenty of them in games of football, where players do play that card. It brings the crowd into it, changes the atmosphere.
Oof. Head clash was brewing there between Kim and McGree. They managed to avoid it. Dorigo through the back of McGlinchey.
Been very strong series of 50-50 challenges, Speedy, haven't they? And then the referee swooped, I think, on a 100% record with the illegalities that have come to play. Dorigo just too enthusiastic there to get past McGlinchey.
Stayed in for Gordon. Nisbet was anticipating another one of those 50-50s, wasn't he? He was looking around and no one was coming the other way. They worked the triangle beautifully there, the Mariners. Now Miller could have opened up the pitch left-hand side. Nisbet was thinking that way. Referee got in the road there and got out of the way just as quickly. Delivers on the right. Don't see that too often from Clisby. Have another go here, perhaps. Has 2 to beat. And went down tamely. No whistle on that occasion. Lovely touch there, Blackwood. Miliosnic ahead of Maria again. Likewise, McGree. Maria played it cleverly. Miliosnic bends one in, away by Gordon. Their defensive heading has been good so far. The Central Coast, Gordon, Kim and Murray.
That's in the very excellent category, that particular one from Ziggy Gordon. Adelaide gradually over the half hour have been getting better and better. They were a distant second best in the opening 10 minutes. A very sleepy start by the home team. And whilst the Mariners have continued with their good level, they've been warned that as the game's gone on, Adelaide are growing into the form more reflective of their season so far. They look very dangerous when the field opens up. Halloran, Miliosnic, McGree out of midfield.
Nice pass from Mork across the pitch there. Opened up this opportunity. Maria lost out in the end. Cleverly played by Nisbet. Birighitti, it's a shocking free kick that he took straight to the feet of Dorigo. A little casual from the goalkeeper. Walk on the move here. Halloran going to Dorigo instead. Bake barking out the instructions. Quicker ball movement, please. Because the passing was so slow, they ran out of room on this right-hand side. Risky throw, but Clisby trusted McGlinchey. Physicality off the ball from Halloran. Well, they're adamant there's a handball here against Harold. The Mariners won't want to score and then lose the goal if it was indeed a hand that was struck. Nisbet. Ziggy Gordon, eyes are lighting up here. Oh, he got a hold of it too. A grass cutter through to Izzo. McGree playing with his head up. Blackwood. Halloran. Nisbet couldn't win it. Halloran deflection, looping in nearly. Oh, great save. Worried about the post, and Birighitti emerged unscathed and kept out the opening goal.
There was a Mariner down in the box too. Bit crook, but a beautiful attack. Opened up the right flank magnificently. And the deflection was going in, and Birighitti, pay credit, he doesn't even look, he just senses where the post is. He has no other idea really how close he is to crashing into the steel upright. That does so well, Birighitti. Great attack from Adelaide. I love that work. Halloran vacated the right flank. Blackwood from his number 10 position made the diagonal run out to the right-hand side. Kim tracked him as he needed to, which made a big hole in the centre of midfield. Through goes McGree. Beautiful the way the pieces fell into place. And Birighitti at the end.
Yeah, in real time, I was certain it was going in. And then some of the replays, you think maybe it was going wide, but Birighitti wasn't to know. And Stensness is just getting the strength test with those shoulders. Mark Birighitti made more saves than any other keeper this season. That's one of his best.
Very strong start to the game by Stensness. This is unfortunate. He's missed a couple of games recently with illness, etc. He's really making great progress in the senior ranks, and this will be a bit of a blow.
Here's the earlier work from Kim. Just watch this. The hands go behind the back, hits the chest. No worry about getting pinged for a penalty. Defenders can do it, Andy Harper, can't they? Don't need to keep the hands away from the body and make yourself bigger. It's going to hurt, though, isn't it? You've got to wear one.
Stensis back on the field. He's shaking out both shoulders. I'm not. Has he got some sort of nerve problem down his neck or something? It'd be really interesting to know. I mean, he's loosening up. It's not as though he's evidently hurt one side of the body, fallen awkwardly on one shoulder. At any rate, we'll watch that as it unfolds. He's started the game excellently.
Young man who went to the Under-20 World Cup with New Zealand. So many great opportunities for the young Kiwi players coming through right now. Get a feel their golden generation might be just around the corner at senior level.
They're doing something very well, aren't they? And not to be framed in the discussion you've just touted, Speedy, but they have the only Oceania geographic player playing in the Premier League as a striker, Chris Wood. We can't boast a Premier League striker out of our ranks at the moment.
It's Wood who just bullies defenders in that competition. Kim used the chest again. Look at all the Mariners. Right through the middle they went. And friendly fire between Jakobsen and Mork. They're both proppy right now. Stensness sensing an opportunity is upended by Dorigo. Referee had a great view of it. And despite the protests, set piece is awarded.
Playing some really beautiful stuff, the Mariners. And probably a lack of experience when Nisbet gets the ball. This is the end of it. Stensness numbing to shoot. Locks legs with Dorigo. He says, well, I didn't do anything intentional, but the legs were tangled. The attacker was disadvantaged and brought down.
McGlinchey grabbed the ball like a man who's been frustrated watching other set-piece takers, thinking I can do a better job than that. It is a side that favours a left footer. It's a fair decoy if McGlinchey doesn't take this, and it is Clisby.
He scored from the set pieces before too, Clisby. Not on a regular basis, of course, but he has got a good left foot when it's working.
Blackwood, who's been in the wars so far in this game, requiring another seeing to from the dock. And this is down breeze. So put it in the top corner, it's going to be very hard to keep out for Izzo. Can McGlinchey negotiate the wall? No, he can't.
Encroachment, Speedy.
Looked like they advanced a little.
Let's see what the situation is with George Blackwood. Is just that concussion coming back again? Starting to feel a little bit woozy. Is there a knock? Jakobsen brave. Second position in the war.
Clisby flighting one. And Jakobsen had to deal with it. Great run was being made by Harold.
Twice now. Inside 30 seconds, it was Jakobsen's melon that got in the way of that dead ball. And that was a terrific defensive intervention there as the ball sailed dangerously into the Adelaide penalty area. Clisby dropping it beautifully. Chris Harold ghosting in on the blind side of Jakobsen.
No shortage of set pieces for the Mariners in this first half. Another corner from Clisby, didn't get hold of it. Picking up the scraps, Kim. And out for the goal kick. No goals yet for the Korean in the Hyundai A-League. Well, Halloran accepted the contact and went down like he wanted Stensness to pick up a card. And that was the sanction. He knew what was coming there, Ben Halloran. Let's get back down to Robbie Cornthwaite.
Yeah, thank you, Speedy. It looks as though George Blackwood may have taken another whack to the jaw or to the throat. He said he was struggling a little bit with a bit of a throat problem, so they've sent Mirko Boland to warm up, but the word is from the Adelaide United benches they expect him to continue. But
mistake here from Jakobsen. Harold looking to pounce, pulls it back. No one able to catch up in the middle for the Mariners. Dorigo got the shout from about 5,000 of his fellow Adelaide constituents. But there was a man on there, woke him up in time. Into the breeze, but not enough of a breeze to keep that one in for Stephen Moore. Boland continues that warm-up, if required, down in the far corner, but Blackwood soldiering on for now. Wonder how he'll feel during the half-time break. Certainly copped his fair share. Toniek stepped up nicely. Clever little flick on from Nisbet. Jordan Murray was in behind. Still Murray to Harold, and bodies in the road again. Ricochet off the hand of Harold, they claimed. Doesn't matter now. As Adelaide United work it up the pitch. Toniek felled Opseth. Halloran was keen to take the free kick. Stensner's kicked it away. They're trying to get him sent off here. And Adam Kersey is calling out Gianni Stensner, who's going to get a final warning here. And not a second booking.
Well, this is the problem, Speedy, when refs let the little ball kickaways, if you'll pardon my English and grammar, go. Because then it brews into a situation like that where the Reds had a real case for a quick retake and a breakaway. And given the climate that's been set recently, it would have been really stiff for Stensner to get a yellow card there, even though, strictly speaking, he certainly deserved one.
What a drag out of the sky from Riley McGree. Brilliant football. No one there for the cutback. Miller got there in time. Now Mork. Could have left it for McGree. Miliusnic and the Olyroon not quite on the same page there, but what a moment of inspiration it was from McGree.
Well, there has been some really excellent football played here tonight at Cooper's. The Mariners have had the lion's share of it. Adelaide have grown considerably in the half as it's gone on, and this is superb from the outstanding young midfielder in Australia at the moment, Riley McGree.
Clisby looking for Nisbet, who provided that clever flick on a moment ago, and Murray was goal side,
yeah,
and then
through. And for all the good football that the Mariners have played today, you know, they're getting back to what has been a large chunk of their season, and that lack that conviction in the final part of the field. And Jordan Murray, just to continue on the discussion, has worked really hard in general play, done some very clever things, very committed to the cause, some good touches. But inside the penalty area, not definitive enough.
Miliusnic in the corner. Found an angle back to Maria. Mariners have dropped deep here. Could be a key period here before half-time. Stoppage time could be significant after the stoppages for Blackwood and company. Opseth works a little angle, wants it back here, the Norwegian, and just bounced up very kindly for Berighetti,
who, in breaking with his own tradition, has decided not to release the ball quickly, even though Jordan Murray had peeled off to the near touchline with real vigour. Berighetti saw him and decided not to pull the trigger on the quick clearance or quick release.
Nisbet frustrated he didn't get the ball earlier in this sequence. Kept on working hard. Nisbet through the legs, found Miller, who was trying to link up with Murray. Adelaide United got enough numbers back. There's that speed again from McGree. Well played, Stensness. Got the better of a couple. Clisby gone into a dead end. Dorigo, as he does so often, tidying up. And that's McGlinchey testing the friendship on his opposite number. McGree thought that was pretty cynical from the Kiwi.
Well, it's one of those borderline ones for me. McGlinchey's close enough to get away with it and make it look like he was going for the ball. Riley McGree within his rights, in my opinion, to ask the question. Oh, a minute to go and what's been a horrific first half, Speedy, just missing the goal. Some high-quality play from both teams.
Nisbet bought some time. Working hard, Stephen Morg to get that goal side of Harold. Big up and under, who wants this one? McGree, clever little nudge, and Stensness has to watch his step now. Careful, Gianni, as he dived into the challenge against Halloran. Alan Stajic, does he have a decision to make on Stensness at half-time? Would you bring him back out second half?
Fit, yes.
Yellow card worry?
Too early to worry about that. You'd have a word with him about one or two things, but you're not going to sacrifice him. He's been outstanding. Kim provided a great foundation in the centre of the Mariners midfield. Bigger concern for me is not Johnny's mentality, or it's his fitness.
Right at the end of the first half. One last chance. Back post. Little nick off Ziggy Gordon. And out for a corner, and that nick may have been required because Opseth was arriving.
Well, Ziggy Gordon has been in place for those last-minute deflections and nicks, perhaps on a half a dozen occasions. Beautiful one-touch play. As Halloran just drops it to the near post, and there was that little flick of ginger hair on that ball.
Oh, back towards his own goalkeeper there from Jordan Murray. And that was the final action of the first half. Really entertaining football on Friday nights. Somehow, no goals as yet. The Mariners with more shots so far, 11-6. 4 of those on target as well. They didn't make the most of the breeze at their backs. And Adelaide United will enjoy that in the second 45. At the break, it's 0-0. Let's go down to Robbie.
Thank you very much, Speedy. I'm joined by Mikey McGlinchey. Mate, you'd be pretty pleased with the effort in the first half from your side?
Yeah, I think we've created a lot of chances. We've forced them into a lot of errors. I think we're pressing the right kind of people and they're giving us the ball back, and we've had a few chances which we probably should have scored.
We haven't seen a lot of you this season. It looks like you're relishing being out there, mate.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I've waited a long time for my chance, and hopefully I can do a bit better in the second half and get a goal.
All the best in the second half.
Thank you.
Make sure you stick around. We'll be right back after the break to dissect all the first half action. Half-time 0-0 between the two sides.
So out of the blocks. Cool, yep. This season or in how long? Wow. That is nuts.
We just fix this. Thank you. Yeah, wasn't sure if it was all tangled up. Yeah, got you, mate. Is it just me and you, or is Harps coming too?
Just the two of us.
Okay, cool.
So talk more, please.
This way?
Yeah.
Jay, we need to spin the desk. You go that way.
Yeah.
Is Herchan giving... I was wondering.
Oh, yeah, no. He was just sort of... Wasn't anything excessive.
Yeah.
Stadge was frustrated with Murray. He's basically saying to his coaching staff, like, just take him, like, go. Why are you waiting? You're a striker.
Yeah.
You're just, like, stopping.
Can you say that?
What's that?
Can you say that?
100%.
Murray.
He's like, mate, just go on your left foot and pull the trigger. And he's, like, turning out and trying to play in bloody Nisbet. Like, it works well because we spoke about it before the game, whether he's the one to lead the line and all that.
Yeah, so I'll get a general comment off the top and then we'll go into it. The Mariners fast start.
Yeah.
Yeah? Welcome back to your Friday night of football live from Cooper Stadium, where the first half is absolutely flown by. The action between Adelaide United and the Central Coast Mariners. It's been fast-paced, it's been exciting, and well, the Mariners, they have come to play wholesale changes across this starting lineup, and they look like they could be paying some dividends. Welcome back, I'm Tara Rushton. It's great to have your company and to be joined by Robbie Cornthwaite. We've got quite a contest on our hands. That's some pretty exciting football being played, even though it is 0-0 at the moment.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I've been super impressed with Central Coast Mariners. They've made things extremely difficult for Adelaide, particularly in the opening half of that first half. And Adelaide sort of got themselves back into the game, but haven't really hit their straps. And it's finally balanced at the moment at half time.
7 shots in the opening 15 minutes from the Central Coast Mariners. They flew out of the blocks. It shows you their intent.
No, they certainly did. I think Harps mentioned it. I think in general their balls into the penalty area were very, very dangerous. And that front two of Murray and Chris Harold, they caused Adelaide a lot of trouble. When you have two players up there who are so mobile and have a lot of pace, they can turn and cause all sorts of problems. But, you know, obviously this was the big chance off the top of the crossbar there. Lovely strike from Harold, and we hoped he'd have an impact for the club. Obviously scoring last week off the bench, and we see Michael McGlinchey, what an impact he's had as well. First start of the season, he's absolutely loving being out there.
We have missed seeing Michael McGlinchey. We're going to touch on him. We've got a whole package to talk about him shortly. But Jordan Murray, you touched on him there. We spoke about him pre-game, whether he could reach the height of heights, given the opportunity in that starting role to find the back of the net. What have you made of it? Because he had the opportunity to break the deadlock.
Yeah, I mean, he's been busy. He's sort of playing his role for the side, but I know just this opportunity here, if you're the main man up front, you're the guy who's out there to get all the goals, you want to see him drive into the box with his left foot, maybe try to get across the keeper. You see here, get that in front of you. You've got pace. Maybe his first touch wasn't the best. I know Alan Stadgic from the bench was sort of looking to the other coaching staff saying, why didn't he take that on? Why didn't he go on his own? And maybe that's the responsibility he needs to look to take on.
Yeah, perhaps a bit of confidence, maybe a bit of indecision there. But you mentioned him, Michael McGlinchey. It's his first start for the season. He must have been a caged, pent-up animal because it's like unleashing the beast out here tonight.
Yeah, he looks like he's got the bit between the teeth. He's working extremely hard. He's set up a lot of good opportunities for Central Coast. And, I mean, the thing is we shouldn't really be surprised because we know what he's capable of. He's been around the A-League for a long time, comes from a good pedigree, and I suppose the question is why he hasn't got more opportunities this season, because everything that he showed tonight, he's been involved in everything that's been good for the Mariners. And, you know, speaking to him at half-time, he's really, really enjoying being back out there, and you can see in the way that he's playing.
He's fresh, he's got the legs in him, and yes, he's got the pedigree and the resume as well. I wonder then what Alen Stajcic will tweak in that second half when it comes to how he set up the side.
Well, we spoke about the front two in the fact that they're very workmanlike. They're gonna run all day. They're going to provide that energy. I wonder how long that can last. I mean, later on in the game, they're going to have to look to make changes, and the only really attacking player they have on the bench is Jair, and I'm not sure whether he can produce that type of football. So whether things would change, I think they'll be disappointed they didn't get that goal in the first half that they probably deserved in that first 15 minutes. But they're still well and truly in this game, and you know, they got all 3 points still to play for.
Yeah, as do the Reds though, Robbie. It took them a little while to warm up into the game. Poor George Blackwood, he copped a ball to the face. We're worried that he would be concussed, actually. What have you made of their opening 45?
It's an interesting one. I mean, this season, most of their success has come from the wide areas and certainly through McGree. As the match wore on, we started to see more and more of Riley McGree. We've seen a lot more of Halloran, than we have of Mile Uznic, but the problem for Adelaide's still sort of been centrally. I don't think they've seen enough of George Blackwood, and again, certainly not enough of Christian Opseth. I think Ryan Tongic has done a fantastic job of containing him. But yeah, Adelaide really yet to hit their straps. I expect to see a lot more from them, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting a bit of a stern talking to at half-time.
So what's going to be tweaked from Herchan Verbeek then? Probably get a rocket come half-time because they needed to do more and not miss opportunities like this?
I mean, we have seen the way Adelaide play. They love to go forward. He hasn't been happy with the ball movement. He wants that a little bit quicker, wants them to try and change sides quicker. We've seen Jordan Elsey try to hit a few diagonals, which have looked good and worked at times, but forward runs, that's Adelaide's game. They only know how to win a game one way. It's not by defending. It's about getting forward, getting in behind the opposition, and we need to see more of that in the second half.
Anyone that you want to see come on?
Oh, I think we all want to see the young boy, don't we, Toure? Hopefully we'll see him sooner rather than later. I mentioned Opseth not really involved in this game. Why not get the 15-year-old out there and get this crowd lifted and behind the team?
That would be pretty exciting, yeah. Mohamed Toure, if we could get him on, that'd be pretty exciting. We are off to a short break. A huge second half coming up on the other side between Adelaide United and the Central Coast Mariners. Who will break the deadlock here tonight at Cooper Stadium? We'll find out soon.
Friday night football in round 19 sees the Reds host the Mariners, and George Blackwood, after missing last week with a calf issue, is straight back in. Ryan Strain is out with a hamstring injury, so Stephen Mork will play in the unfamiliar right-back role. 15-year-old Mohamed Toure is among the substitutes after a breathtaking cameo on debut in Brisbane. Chris Harold makes his starting debut for the club after scoring as a sub last week. McGlinchey makes his first start since round 25 last season. Tonjic gets just his second start with the club, while Murray and Nisbet are both restored to the starting lineup as Alen Stajcic makes 5 changes after losing the derby to the Jets last week. Welcome back to Cooper Stadium. Waiting for the players to get back out there for the second half. Here come the Central Coast Mariners, who were very good in that first half, but Alan Stajic has lamented throughout this season that just haven't scored enough goals when their pressure has been there and their chances have been created, and been another case of that in the first half, Andy Harper.
Certainly, the frustration in that sense continues, but after what Coach Stajic described as of last week's game as the worst of the season, he'd be really, really happy with the response from the players in this first half. Plenty of chances to score, just lacking that conviction, that maybe quality, that experience. But there's been no lack of desire from the Mariners, and no lack of very good lead-up play either.
Interesting change here. When you see Mirko Boland appear on the halfway line, you're thinking maybe George Blackwood's not going to come back out, but it's Stefan Mork who has been withdrawn after playing in that right-back role in the first half. So Boland won't be going to right-back. Maybe Luis Dorigo is going to go to the right-back role and Boland goes into midfield. We'll keep an eye on it here, Andy, but that looks the only logical conclusion.
Well, what you say, we'll see. Dorigo at right full-back at the moment.
Ryan Strain has been such a regular there, but he's behind the bench, out through injury. And one change made at the break. Mirko Boland, who's been working his way back to peak fitness, slotting into midfield, and Luis Dorigo, who's given the team so much as the anchor in midfield, has to fill another position.
Well, just hold your horses there, Speedy. I reckon that was a bit of a red herring. Dorigo, once play started, made a beeline for McGlinchey. Maybe a man-marking job on McGlinchey. Halloran started a little bit deeper.
Boland helping it on. Athleticism again from Kim. 50-50, won by Clisby, and Halloran went right through him. Ump-headed the left back. Stensner saying, why is that not a card? He was the one who walked the tightrope so far as a second yellow was concerned in that first half.
Well, Ben Halloran was making a serious attempt to get there and just realised too late he wasn't going to, so it's not a yellow card, it's a clear foul.
Clisby, great ball in. Toniak is forward. And Miller will track this one down. Very little support, so he had to try a trick, and a corner is the next best thing.
Yeah, nice try. Again, Clisby, he's hit some real beauties into the Adelaide penalty area. One swinging all the way across, and Lewis Miller then trying something different on the byline, winning the corner.
Clisby to swing one in. Keeper comes. Punch clear only as far as McGlinchey. The challenge had to be timed with Nisbet trying to nick it away from Miliuznic. Ziggy Gordon not afraid to strike from long range. Now he's got some defending to do as it broke the way of Opseth, who left it for no one. A no-look pass, and didn't it show? Clisby delivers on the right. It's going to elude Murray. And no damage done to the Reds in the end.
It was Opseth getting away from Stensness and then very kindly dropping the ball straight for Nisbet. Clisby couldn't believe his luck. We had nearly had left fullback feeding right fullback, although it was the case that Clisby decided to go himself. Dropped the ball in for Jordan Murray, couldn't quite find the range. Adelaide survived.
Referee letting that one go between Miller and Miliuznic. Jakobsen across just in time. Somehow Izzo gave Miliuznic a chance there with the outside of the boot swerver. Nisbet shielding it away from Boland. Tidy work again from Josh Nisbet. Clisby's ball. Elsey straight back to the left back. Nice move, Jack Clisby. And then an early block took the speed out of the shot. Lovely distribution from Izzo. McGree, goal side of Stensness. Looks for Blackwood on the cutback, and he won the ball, did Kim. Needed to as well. Nisbet's coughed it up this time. Miliosnic. Blackwood's back on side. Miliosnic kept on going, and he's upended here. The Reds have a set piece where the Mariners failed in the first half.
And the attack and the situation all started because of the run out of midfield from McGree. Brought him all the way back to this point. Looked like it was gone. Does he get the ball there, Speedy? Yep.
Definitely, yeah.
Anyway, the VAR by now's gone through that a few thousand times. Nothing to see here.
Rock and rolling it.
But we do get the set piece. Miliosnic will fancy himself. Try getting this one off. Opseth. Due a goal, the Norwegian.
Yeah, it is the reputation that Opseth came down under with, the ability to put these into the top corner. Lefty or righty? Birighitti waits. It is Miliosnic. Straight into the netting in front of the Red Army.
Well, he's tried the knuckleball, has Nikola Miliosnic, and pretty sound contact, obviously. Not on target. And has escaped.
Kersey telling Birighitti to get on with it. Now Toniuk has it after dropping back to present an option for Birighitti from that goal kick a moment ago. Decent shape on this ball too, and Elsey over physical on Harold, gave away a somewhat needless free kick.
Yeah, it was scrappy and messy, a little bit lazy. Credit to Chris Harold for winning the front position and drawing the contact. Just clumsy from there. Harold goes down, ref's got no choice.
And those Mariners fans who've travelled in that far corner getting excited here, hoping to see their team take the lead on the road. Opening goals have been few and far between for the Central Coast. Miller's there, and the header, was it tipped over by Izzo? No touch from the goalkeeper. That was a better than half chance in the end.
Well, again, it's Clisby. He drops it right in the soft spot. Adelaide can't quite deal with it, and they get enough bodies around the ball, which makes it all a bit frantic. It's Jordan Murray in the end who steers the header just over. And again, it was Clisby. Really good service.
Oh, Opseth went right underneath Stensness there. And with two players down, there's no time for the quickly taken free kick. Home fans only saw that 50-50 one way. Referee saw it the right way.
Yeah.
No eyes for the ball from Christian Opseth, just backing into the airborne Stensness. Risky pass, came off in the end. Boland, lovely touch, kept it away from Kim. Looks to create over the top. Toniuk had a head start on McGree and needed it. McGree leaving for the throw-in man. Saw the Mariners get good numbers forward in those kinds of situations in the first half. Adelaide United a little lethargic at times. Opseth's strike was unlikely to test Birighitti. Seen too many sequences like this, passing back and forth between the two centre halves. Mariners displaying the patience. Blackwood took it away from Harold. Kept on going. George Blackwood ran into a brick wall in the end in form of Kim, but he found Mile Osnic. Works his way around Miller, and it deflects kindly off the right back to his keeper.
Stuck to that task well, Lewis Miller. Osnic squared him up a couple of times, ran him a couple of times, couldn't quite get away.
Coming a long way back. That was a long advantage, and it's a booking. Ben Halloran for the late challenge on Jordan Murray. Too late to ask for the referee to check the replay. He's in the book. Let's go down to Robbie Causeway.
Yeah, Speedy, the word out of the Adelaide United bench is that Stephen Morks picked up a bit of a quad injury. It doesn't appear to be too serious, the fact that he was able to run out that first half. But interestingly enough, tactically now, Adelaide are basically playing without a recognised right back. They're sharing the role between Dorigo and Halloran, depending where the ball is on the field, particularly in their back third. Halloran will drop as the fullback, and as they go forward, Dorigo will move out there at times as well.
And as a centre half, you happy with that? Does it take a lot of communication?
Well, it's a difficult one. If I was Jordan Murray, I'd be going to park myself out on that left-hand side and asking the question of Jordan Elsey, do you want to come and follow me, or are you going to stay in the middle of the park?
Mariners attacking that side right now, and Elsey did deal with that. Another free kick given away by Stensness.
Well, the diagnosis from Verbeek is that McGlinchey's got to be taken out of the game. You don't often see it, not so much as you used to in the old days, but he's certainly got a tagging job as Dorigo on McGlinchey. And so far, the outstanding player in the first half hasn't been able to dominate the Mariners' attack in the second. Astute readjustment there by Verbeek.
You get a little nick on that. Ruan Tonic, no touch. Goal kick, and the Mariners are ready to make a change. Here comes Jair. No Matt Simon today. Hopeful that he'll be right for next week's game against Sydney FC. So Chris Harold, his starting debut the Mariners comes to an end. Up top alongside Jordan Murray. Jacobson stopped it getting through to him. Good use of the body from Murray. Jair back post here, hoping for Nisbet's delivery. The 1-2 with McGlinchey. That was an attack that promised a whole lot more than that earlier on in the sequence. Adelaide United streaming forward. Lovely pass, waited well for Blackwood, back heel for Opseth. And that pass underhit. It was on for McGree, but Opseth off the mark. Dorigo with a smart tactical foul to prevent any counter-attack. Gordon now takes the game on. quite how Miller drew it up, but he can take the attacking throw.
Come on.
Winner by Miller. Stensness. Upended by Opseth. Now Tonya can get forward. Try and get on the end of the set piece. Be told to come across, provide the left-footed option here. Now McGlinchey is on. They work it that way. Heavy touch from McGlinchey. Wasn't a bad idea. Jair. Blackwood backing off, got enough of a touch on it, kept alive by Jair though for Nisbet. He dragged it across the face.
Well, for the first time in the hour of the game, there's just been some degree of calmness has descended upon Cooper Stadium. I don't expect it to last for long before the players get straight back into it.
Halloran to the byline. Out off Clisby for the corner.
There's nothing like a little burst from Ben Halloran to shake things up. After an opening 20-odd minutes where the Mariners were clearly the dominant team, Adelaide have clawed their way back to a position of parity.
In front of his own goal, Birighitti with a very casual and confident claim. Can't afford a fumble in that situation.
And again, Birighitti, as for the first half, was looking to get things going again quickly, and they just weren't the option. So just slight drop-off from the Mariners by comparison to their excellent first half. Still playing very well, but locking up McGlinchey has been a key, obviously, compared to the first half as well. Adelaide are a much sharper proposition than they were to start the match.
Jair. It opens up as well for Jair, and the bouncing ball well gathered by Izzo. Murray was following in for any scraps.
And speaking of darts, good dart with the ball at his feet and fired a dart goalwards, did Jair. This had a bit of promise about it.
We mentioned what's going on with this McGlinchey man marking. Are they losing the ability to get numbers forward, though, with Halloran worried about his defensive responsibilities?
Totally, which is why Ben's playing that half-half position. There is a lot of space on the left-hand side for the Mariners from time to time, if they're prepared to look, because Halloran is deciding to stay in a more aggressive position at times. Dorigo might start on the right, but he quickly zeroes in to find the number 8 for the Mariners. And sticks to him again. You can see that space out there now at the top of the screen, all vacated since Stephen Mork, playing as an orthodox right fullback, succumbed to the injury.
Go forward, and Maria was able to do just that. The instructions from the bench were followed. Gave it up to Miller, though. Double team, won it for the Reds. McGree misplaced pass, though, and Miller can face forward again here. Murray's onside. He's got speed against Jakobsen as well. Does he take the game on? McGlinchey must have thought about the dummy there for Jair. And Murray's offside. That was careless by both parties.
It is. This is where things start fraying for the Mariners. Jordan Murray didn't want to burst into the penalty area, decided not to back himself. Fair enough, although he did have the opportunity to do that. And then the Mariners just let Adelaide off the hook with that lack of edge, mental edge, to really maximise these chances.
all the way through. Got a little hairy for a moment there for Birighitti. Here's a look at the live ladder. Both teams credited with a point right now. Mariners came into tonight level on points with the Jets at the foot of the table, and Adelaide United missed that chance. 1-0 up against Brisbane last week to really solidify their top 6 spot. The Raw have worked their way in with a great run of results of late. Last touch off Clisby. Adelaide United with a quickly taken throw. Blackwood. Boland. Referee peeled off to open up that space for Mile Uznic. Now Maria. Little touch off Miller was handy. Gordon could have let it run. His goalkeeper. No one Stajic talking Jair through his defensive responsibilities. Mariners haven't kept a clean sheet against Adelaide United since 2014. 25 minutes away from ending that streak. Gordon hungry to get there first. Gets it back from Boland through the legs of Opseth. Stensness knocked off balance by McGree. Teams have already gone to their bench, but feels like a night where the substitutes could have a big say, and perhaps the final say. Could it be a history-making night? There's a 15-year-old who waits in the wings for Adelaide United. Mohamed Toure. Sensational cameo last week. Will Herchin Verbeek call upon the teenager here. Long throw from Miller, who won the throw. Murray able to keep it in. Kelsey all over him.
Well, he's certainly sharpening up his warm-up. Mohamed Toure. Though Speedy, as Tara Rushton identified, tigerish professionalism in the pre-game. Trying to pin down Verbeek on how much game time Toure would get.
Mile Uznic. They're backing off on Mile Uznic. In the end, Miller was in the road. Mariners are keeping 2 attackers up the pitch here if they want to launch a counter. So it's keeping Boland and Maria honest as it's whipped in by Dorigo. Almost the header at the back post. The late run was made, and important body work there by the Mariners defender to keep Opseth at bay.
Yeah, Tongic has marshalled Opseth well enough. Opseth just can't burst through in the last stride.
Nice link up. Stensness for Clisby. Enough pressure put on the cross. Straight out of play for the goal kick.
Terrific defending by Ben Halloran. Clisby's been very dangerous down that left flank. Nice through ball from Stensness, who'd linked nicely with Jordan Murray.
Seen plenty of it down that left-hand side, Jack Clisby. Turns 28 on Sunday. Murray has to go all the way back. Miller had played it to him and continued his run. Talking it over with Murray. Behind play at the moment, those two. Jair. Oof, Elsey scythed him down. And there's only one result, a booking for the centre half.
Yeah, well, look at his face. He was not happy about being dragged that far out of his central defensive position. Jair, oh, jeez. This doesn't leave a lot to the imagination. Very late.
They are happy with the yellow card sanction. The Brazilian is right to continue. Izzo backtracks. Murray was getting there. Solid goalkeeping from Paul Izzo, but he wanted to go early. They're only just working their way over halfway now, most of the Adelaide United attackers. Boland, lovely ball, allowed Opseth to link up with Miliusnic. Boland can go forward again here. Opseth once more, back to Blackwood. Little dink inside. George Blackwood trying to take it in his stride. Where's the ball? George tracked it down in the end, went back to Boland. Fired it into Ziggy Gordon again. Brilliant from Gordon, putting his body on the line, and McGree the guilty party again.
He really has been excellent today, Ziggy Gordon. Really excellent. I mean, he's set a very consistent level of performance since he's joined the club. He obviously was part of the poor showing last week, but either side of that, he's been very good. And tonight, he hasn't lost a duel, I wouldn't have thought. Very, very good performance.
When we saw the team sheet, I did say maybe the Mariners wanted to keep it goalless for the last 20 minutes and bring on Milan Djuric, who scored in both games against the Reds this season. It's 0-0, and Djuric isn't too far away. Here's Jair, pulling it back. Oh, heading it towards his own goal. Interesting approach from Halloran. Confident he could clear the crossbar. There were centimetres in it.
Wow, I can afford to smile about it, old cat weasel. This was nearly a great striker's goal. He knew exactly what he was doing, man, at the peak of his powers.
He does some quirky things, Ben Halloran, throughout his A-League career. And here comes the trump card, perhaps. Michael McGlinchey, brilliant performance, accepting the plaudits of Alan Stajic. But Milan Djuric straight on. Scored the opener. Last time these teams met, or the first time they met this season, rather. Here he is, straight into the fray. Back onside the corner taker, Jair sold short by Clisby. McGree. Counter-attack brewing here, perhaps. Miliusnic bending his run. He is on, and Halloran couldn't find him. Red Army getting a little more boisterous, trying to inspire their team. Maria around the outside of Nisbet. Gives away the foul. Jurich has the ability to spray passes, but Torrigo reading it well. Adelaide United fans in front of us, Andy Harper, are getting a little excited right now.
Well, not the only one, Speedy.
Look who's on the sideline, number 49, Mohamed Toure. Jair poked it towards Murray, continued his run. And deflection earns another corner.
Well, this has been the liveliest output as a Mariner from Jair. No doubt about that. And when he's in this sort of mood, working the line, with sharp, purposeful runs, he's got the potential to really be a dangerous attacking weapon for the Mariners.
Corner work short. Clisby, back post. Izzo felt like he had to get involved with Stensness looming at the back post.
Yeah, Lewis Miller, I think it might have been.
Yep, you're right.
But still, it was the presence. There's not a lot between them height-wise. It may as well have been Johnny's tenseness. Good little period this for the Mariners.
Adelaide United holding off on that change as they defend these set pieces. Jurich. Awkward one. Oh, Tonyik, who scored last week, nearly had back-to-back goals.
Amazing from Elsey, who's just thrown himself and the deflection has gone over. Tonyik peeling off on the pivot. And Jordan Elsey just launches. Something's better than nothing, he thinks. And the deflection saves his team.
Scored that header before half-time last week against Newcastle. We get on the end of things here from the other side. Clisby delivers. He's picked out his man too. Getting over the ball was Kim. All the way back to Clisby, who snatched at it. Teammates at the back post saying, what about us?
Look, he's had a good game, but that was awful. What a woeful decision from Jack Clisby. It's a rush of blood. Of course, if he leathers it and it fires into the top corner, he looks like a genius. But just a cool head. Cool head required.
Listen to the reception for a 15-year-old. Third youngest player in A-League history. Mohamed Toure makes his home debut. Doesn't turn 16 until March 26. 7 minutes last week to make the impression. All those stats, if you don't mind.
Well, Tara has reported bumping into Al Hassan in the lift half-time. The Moonbirds off in a couple of weeks. Speedy, here he goes.
Mohamed Toure straight into the action. And Gordon kept it away. Took a long time to whip that back in. Away by Tonyik. And Mohamed Toure taking about 20 seconds to get the home fans excited.
His brother, but on very good authority, is about 6 weeks away from action. So the season's not over for Al Hassan Toure, which is just brilliant news.
The foot injury picked up on Ollie Roo's duty. Seeing that final game that he wasn't right when he came off the bench against Uzbekistan. There was something wrong and was a stress fracture in the foot. Boland able to advance again. Eventually use Maria. Fans want to see the ball go to that number 49. McGree. Return ball. Halloran trying to keep it alive. Hit the deck though. Now in Clisby to find Jair. Oh, backheel came off. Jurich. Nisbet can run onto this. Miller looking to find his feet. Like a sprinting routine mid-run there from Miller. Bends in a decent-looking ball. Jakobsen's header only as far as Jurich, and here comes Jair again. Cut back. to Murray. Oh, square ball was on. He went back to Juric instead. Square ball to Stensness, and he would have been lining it up.
Well, I mean, so many talking points just in that one passage of play. But Jair with the one-on-one situation, he's had a couple of really exciting moments, the Brazilian, finally, as a Mariner. Juric ultimately with the responsibility given to him by Jordan Murray when Stensness was on square.
Good find there from Miller. Clisby has seen the run of Murray. Flag staying down as well. He will have been in with a better ball there. They are full of running here. Again, getting numbers into the box. Nisbet to Miller. Poise here. Murray on the turn. Turned into trouble in the end. Toure trying to get there. Kept his feet against Tonjik. Wants it back. And Halloran finds the back heel of the youngster.
Unlucky. The coming together of Tonjik and Toure had everyone on their feet. Mighty to an Al Hassan from the cup final on Harrison Delbridge. Not to be.
Jair nearly punched it with purpose. Dealt with defensively. Blackwood, great effort from him to still be running like this 80 minutes in after the early head knocks that he copped. Nisbet able to face forward. Maria taking one for the team here. Referee let it roll. Fantastic work from the whistleblower. And Juric into the back of Jair. They look every chance here of nicking one on the road, the Central Coast Mariners. Juric heavily involved since coming on. Stensness took on 2 or 3. Maintained possession for his side, just. Oh, pass. Gave Opseth half a chance. Tonjik able to get there in time. Murray, little nudge in the back. Probably entitled to a free kick. Stajic continues to appeal. Now Toure has been found. Wrestled off it. Handful of shirt there that the fans saw on this side. Felt like Ziggy Gordon had infringed. Nothing doing. Ref letting it go. And there's the throw-in.
Very clear. Handful of Toure's shirts. Ziggy Gordon, there's zero question about that.
Good scrapping by Dorigo. Juric puts his head down, wants the back heel. Too much on it from Jair. Got it airborne. He had to stay on the deck. Toure, silky touch. Right through the middle goes Mohamed Toure. McGree has options. Blackwood. George Blackwood with a stunner. All those head knocks early on, he soldiered on and now gets his reward. And Nathan Constantopoulos very much in their thoughts after that ACL injury. But George Blackwood has scored the goal of his A-League career. Top bins, 82 minutes in.
Well, I know for the Mariners. But oh yes, for Blackwood. Great speed. Now look at the 15-year-old again, riding challenges. Through 2 of them. The great balance from Toure, undeterred, set up beautifully for Blackwood, who lines it up and hits the best shot of his career. It's great action here at Coopers. We've been denied goals. Great attack so far. And finally, the defence is breached, and it's taken a ripper from Georgie B.
14th goal of his A-League career. And Coopers exploded. Doesn't mind taking on the Mariners, does he? 4 of those 14 goals against tonight's opponent. And immediately, Merchant Verbeek is going to his bench again. McGree pokes it. Opseth keeps it alive. looking for a double strike here. The Reds. McGree around Miller, keeps his feet. Brilliant play, Riley McGree. Oh, the teenager! Mohamed Touré, the youngest ever A-League scorer. 15 years young. Mohamed Touré in the right place at the right time. It's a headline maker tonight at Cooper Stadium. Riley McGree with the lead-up work and Mohamed Touré with the exclamation mark.
Well, too good, McGree. And Hyundai Stadium, Cooper Stadium, has delivered some of the greatest moments in club football in Australia. And this, people, is one of them. His brother, a couple of months ago, has set the world on fire. He's come off the bench, a secondary assist for the first goal by my reckoning, and then helps himself to his first A-League goal. Mohamed Touré.
What a way to kick off the round. A 15-year-old on target in front of this crowd at Coopers. And here comes an A-League debut as well. Young Noah Smith joins a back five now in the left wing-back role, with that two-goal buffer being enjoyed. Just 19 years of age, he prefers to play as a centre-half, but he's been put out on the left-hand side. This teenager is riding the headlines, though.
Well, the goal at the Pickard end of Cooper Stadium has seen some magnificent moments. The goal in the Champions League to knock out Kashmir Antlers. The 2019 FA Cup final. Tonight, the youngest ever scorer of an A-League goal on the back of, what is it, Speedy? 9 minutes of football, 10 minutes of football, and 10 action-packed minutes. Can we come to Coopers every week?
And how long did he stand still in the middle? Some strikers think, well, I better make a run. I've been here for an age, but he waited and waited and trusted Riley McGree to deliver, and didn't he?
And the other question on the flip side of that is, with so much time, how the Mariners didn't reposition one of their own to take the threat out. 15 years of age. God help me. Incredible.
After last week's performance, Michael Jakobsen, the captain, said of Touré, he just does what he wants. He's that good. He runs rings around opponents. Boland has given the Mariners a set piece here.
Well, when we're excited, justifiably and seriously excited by Al-Hassan Touré, start of the season, I spoke with Carl Viet, who's obviously, he's got his fingerprints on a lot of this youth development that's come through locally. And he said, Al-Hassan's going really well. You want to see his brother? 15, he's a beast. I didn't think we'd be seeing him so soon.
Rolled to Nisbet. Back post delivery. They'll get another corner out of it. And they're into double figures for corners as well. The Central Coast without finding the back of the net.
Well, it's not a goal. It's not a scoreline the Mariners will look at and be able to believe, Speedy, in truth.
Plenty of activity in that 6-yard box. Perrigo hooks clear. Jurich back in. Away by Boland. Kim headed into space. George Blackwood's stunning goal suddenly overshadowed. Goes back to work with the skill, keeping it in too, George Blackwood. One back by Miller. Late cameo coming up for Sam Silvera for the Mariners. Jordan Murray leaving at the nearest possible point to allow Silvera to get on and chase this game late. Looks like being 8 wins out of 10 for Adelaide United against the Central Coast. 17 goals conceded in their last 7 away games for the Mariners. McGree, what a contribution, what an assist he provided for the teenager. Here he goes again. Blocked off by Kim. Foul against McGree. Stensness around one. Waited for Dorigo to come back. Smith just forcing Miller backwards. That 7-minute cameo from Mohamed Toure last week led to him signing a 3-year scholarship deal this week. Tied up to Adelaide United for that period of time already. And it might be very handy business from the Reds. Silvera, can he pull one back here? Again, straight to Izzo. Stoppage time will be 4 minutes in length.
Time added on, 4 minutes.
"15 years, 326 days old." Merchant Vivek has certainly given youth a chance since arriving in that cup run. As Andy identified, the Mark Viduka medalist was Al Hassan Toure. And now his younger brother becomes the youngest ever scorer in the Hyundai A-League. Jair. Toure again. Gordon's backing off. Won't be able to get around him. Well played, Ziggy Gordon. We've never even had a 16-year-old score in the A-League before, Harps, let alone a 15-year-old. Previous...
That Speedy E's off, I'm still coming to terms with it.
Previous youngest, Tommy Orr, who's absent for the Mariners today due to injury. He held the record until tonight, just days after his 17th birthday when he scored for the Brisbane Roar all those years ago. The Mariners find a late goal. It would surely just be consolation at this stage. Nisbet has tried hard all day, left it for Stensness this time. Boland has made a solid contribution after coming on at half-time. McGree, Toure is straight offside now. Boland continued his run. McGree good enough to find him, but Boland left it behind. Easy read there from Dorigo. Works the angle cleverly. McGree says to Toure, where do you want it? For a second. Dragged down, was he, by Tonyik? Referee says Tonyik got the touch and it's a goal kick, or rather a corner. And no penalty. VAR will check it all out. See whether Toure was fouled there after the initial 50-50. Probably offside, so corner's about the best Adelaide United can get out of that one. It's actually last touch off Toure, as that replay showed. No interest in swinging this one in. 4 minutes of stoppage time is up. McCree. History has been made at Cooper Stadium tonight. 15-year-old Mohamed Toure becomes the youngest scorer ever in the history of this competition. 2 quick-fire goals scored by Adelaide United, a stunner from Blackwood, and then the quick follow-up from the kid. Teed up expertly by Riley McGree. Adelaide United solidify their spot in the top 6 with their 9th win of the campaign, and this will be a special moment as older brother Al Hassan comes to congratulate younger bro Mohamed Toure. Great stuff. Not a whole lot of emotion about it in the end. Full time here. Adelaide United 2, Central Coast 0. Pretty special night in the end in Adelaide. Let's get some reaction now with Robbie.
Thank you very much, Speedy. I'm joined by Riley McGree and George Blackwood. Boys, they didn't make it easy for you tonight, but you got the job done in the end.
Yeah, no, it was a battle, and we pushed right until the end in front of our home fans, and it's just great to get the result.
2 pretty special moments for different reasons. George, obviously your strike. Where do you rate that in your career for goals?
It's probably the best in the A-League for sure. And as usual, Riley gets a shitty assist. But yeah, it was good. And then obviously Toure scoring was great as well.
You missed out last week with a bit of calf soreness. Good to be back tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I never like to miss games. And it's really annoying to get little niggles, but you just got to work through it, and that's part of the game. So I'm just happy to be back.
Riley, a lot of the guys in the front third, yourself, you two, Mile Uznic and Halloran, you're all firing. What do you guys put that down to? Is it the tactics, the coach? What do you think it is?
Yeah, I think we've just got a good combination up there. You know, we understand each other, and we're all pretty quick, so we get in behind and get chances, and we just share the ball around a lot, so it's good fun.
And George, obviously scored. You've got the Konstantopoulos shirt on. You must be so disappointed for him and to lose him for the rest of the year at least.
Yeah, it's really sad, and he's such a great player. I don't think people realise how good of a player he is. I train with him every day, and he's fantastic. That goal against Western United, he puts that in every single day in training. So see him finally get in, and then a pretty innocuous challenge at training happen like that. It's just heartbreaking. So I'll send my best to him. I'll see him later on.
And we've got 2 Toures now lighting up the show for Adelaide United. What are they feeding him?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but he's young, he's eager, he's keen, he's confident, and that's great to see.
Lovely assist tonight. Well done, George. Good goal as well. Thank you.
Let's talk about those 2 goals. George Blackwood, absolutely brilliant. Well, what a night in the end here at Cooper Stadium, a venue that has seen so many magical, so many historic evenings. And I dare say it's all about the Hassan family in this moment, Harbs, and you can talk very strongly to this, and we've seen some utter magic and memorable moments that have played out on the park that have been created by these 2 brothers. And Mohamed tonight, outstanding, the youngest A-League scorer ever, and I mean, it was a real contest out there, and then Adelaide in the end